So the intention that I created behind this practice was just a reminder that your body is the magic. And I say that because it feels to me that so often in the world of health and wellness and fertility, all of the practices, all of the recommendations are presented as if they're the magic, right? Like the supplement is the magic, the treatment is the magic, the yoga poses are the magic, the meditation is the magic, the medical procedures are the magic. But the truth is, it's your body having wisdom in how to make use of all of that input and all of those things. That's the magic, right? Like it's amazing that our bodies can take in food and break it down and absorb it and know exactly where to send it to do whatever needs to be done. Like that's the true magic. It's what your body knows to do with all of those ways that you choose to support yourself. So I hope that by having some feel good experiences in your body, you remember that it's really your body that's the magic in this entire process. So with all that, and that's a pretty tall order for some yoga poses, we'll see. We'll see if we get there. We are going to start practicing, and we'll start by coming down to our mat. So if you're not already down on your mat, join me. And we'll lie down. Once you are comfortable lying down, draw your knees into your chest. Notice any tendency to want to turn this into a crunch. This is easeful and easy, so allow your body to melt into the floor. Allow yourself to be supported. You can either hug your knees in by placing your hands behind your thighs or on top of your shins, but only pull them in as much as you can while keeping your hips down. When you're ready, straighten your legs, send your arms up overhead, give yourself a full body stretch, and everything is on the ground. Remember, this is easeful, so you're letting yourself be supported. And then draw your knees back in, hug them in once again. Straighten everything out, stretch everything out again. And draw your knees in. We'll make this the last time. Straighten to stretch. And then draw everything in. From here, place the soles of your feet onto the mat. Your knees are bent. Allow your knees to fall towards each other, and then walk your feet out as wide as your mat. Reach your arms up so your fingertips are pointing up to the ceiling. Really stretch your fingers apart. Interlace your fingers, and then place your interlaced fingers behind your head and rest your arms, your knuckles, and your head down on the mat. Bring your attention to your breath. You're breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. We're going to switch up our breath. We'll continue to breathe in through our nose, but on our exhales, we're going to exhale out of our mouths through pursed lips. So as if you were blowing out through a straw or maybe blowing bubbles. So explore that on your own, breathing in through your nose and out through pursed lips. We're going to add on to that with some movement in our arms. So you'll continue to inhale through your nose, but on your exhale out through your mouth, you'll bring your elbows together like you're flapping them up. And then as you inhale, lower your arms back down to the mat. Continue with inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth, flapping your arms up and down as you go, letting your breath set your pace. Make this your final round. When you find your arms back down on the mat, return to your normal breath, inhaling through your nose and out through your nose. When you're ready, roll over onto one side. And then slowly press yourself up and take a seat at the center of your mat. We'll straighten our right leg out to the right. Left knee is bent so that your left heel is coming towards your groin. Choose how far or how close you'd like it to be, just based on what feels most easeful. Then when you're ready, we're going to flex the right foot so that our right toes are pointing up towards the sky. On your next inhale, circle your left arm up. And as you exhale, stretch over to the right. I'm not mirroring you because I'll get confused. But it's cool because we will go to the other side, so no worries. Check in with your chest. I know sometimes I have my chest down, and that can be appropriate in some cases, but for this variation, we are aiming to have our chest forward. So you might have to rotate. Lovely. On your next inhale, come up. And as you exhale, circle your arm down. We'll switch sides. So bend your right knee And send your left leg out long. Flex your left foot so your left toes are pointing up. And then when you're ready, you'll inhale to circle your right arm up. And exhale to bend over to the left. On your next inhale, come up. Exhale, circle your arm down. Place your hands behind your back so that you can lean back on them, and then straighten your right leg out. So now both legs are straight. Allow your feet to relax, or maybe you point them. Either way, that works. We're just going to see what it feels like to have our feet in a slightly different orientation. You can keep your hands behind your back. You can place them next to your hips, or you can place them in front of you. And really, you could also place them onto your thighs. Whichever you decide to do, begin to sway from side to side. Maybe you sync this up with your breath, exhaling as you bend to one side, inhaling to come up through center, and then exhaling over to the other side. Or maybe you just let your body and your breath move freely and independently. It's your call. The next time you find your torso up through center, let it stay there. If your hands are not behind your back, place them behind your back, lean back, and then slide your legs together. Then windshield wiper your feet from side to side. And then be still for a moment. Relax your feet. Relax your legs. Return to your breath. Bend both knees to bring the soles of your feet together. Knees are moving down towards the mat for bound angle. You can rest your hands either on your ankles, your shins, your knees. Those are usually the places. I'm going to rest mine on my ankles. From here, bring your attention to your breath, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. Spine is long, but not rigid. See if you can find that sweet spot. If you're comfortable doing so, we'll return to the pursed lips exhale. So you'll inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Continue breathing this way. We'll add on some movement here. So on your exhales, you'll bring your knees up, just like we did with the elbows. And on your inhale, you'll lower your knees back down. Make this your final round. When you find your knees down on the floor, let them rest there for a moment. Return to your normal breath, in and out through your nose. Release your ankles or your shins or knees, and then come onto your hands and your knees. We will be on our hands and our knees for quite some time, so feel free to pad your knees either with a towel or blanket, or you can simply take the edges of your mat, pull them up, fold them back on themselves, and then you have a little shelf to rest your knees on. You have options here. You can also make your wrists more comfortable at any point by coming onto your fingertips or coming onto knuckles with fists. Once you're comfortable, shift your weight to the right so that you can step your left foot forward on the outside of your left hand for a low lunge on your left side. You might choose to shimmy your back knee back. That feels good. Breathe deeply here. You can also use your blocks here if you have blocks. Begin to straighten your front knee as you send your hips back. To come into a half split, you might have to walk your hands back. Your feet are pointed. The front foot is pointed, I should say. Don't worry about your knee being perfectly straight. It's not the goal. Breathe deeply here. Rebend your front knee to come back into your low lunge. You can remain here with your knee down, or if you'd like to, you can curl your back toes under and lift your back knee. Notice how lifting your back knee changes the sensation that you are experiencing. If your back knee is lifted, go ahead and lower it and uncurl your back toes so the top of your foot is down on the mat. Straighten your front knee once again. This time, flex your front foot and notice how that changes your experience in this pose. Rebend your front knee. We're back in low lunge. And we'll repeat all of that once again. So from low lunge, straighten your front knee. Toes are pointed down. Rebend your knee. Low lunge. Stay here or lift your knee by curling your back toes under and lifting your back knee. Lower your back knee if it's lifted. Uncurl your toes. Straighten your front leg. Flex your front foot. Bend your front knee for low lunge. Step your left foot back so that your left knee and your right knee are just about underneath your hips. Begin to shift your hips from side to side. What differences do you notice in how your left leg feels compared to how your right leg feels? Maybe your left hip versus your right hip. Okay, come back to center. Be still for a moment. Then shift your weight to the left to step your right foot forward. Straighten your front knee, half split with your toes down. Rebend, low lunge. Curl your back toes under and lift your back knee. Lower your knee, uncurl your toes, low lunge. Straighten your front knee, half split. Flex your foot, toes point up. Bend your front knee, low lunge. Do one last round. Straighten your front knee, half split. Bend your front knee, low lunge. Curl your back toes under, lift your back knee. Lower your back knee, uncurl your back toes. Straighten your front knee. Flex your foot. And for the final time, come into your low lunge. Rebend that front knee. Bring your right foot and knee back in line with your left foot and your left knee. And shift your hips from side to side. Come back to center. Place your big toes together. Walk your knees out wide. Send your hips back to rest on your heels. And lower your forehead down to the mat as you reach your arms forward for child's pose. If you'd like to take a break from being on your knees, you can lie on your back and draw your knees into your chest. If you decided to lie down on your back, I invite you to join us here in child's pose on your knees for just a moment. Then we'll all move together. Bring your torso up to come onto your hands and your knees. And then bring your knees about hips width apart, feet in line with your knees, so they're about hips width apart. Keep your hips high as you walk your hands forward, and then lower your forehead down to the mat. Lift your forehead. Walk your hands back so they're just about underneath your shoulders, maybe a little bit in front of your shoulders. Curl your toes under. Lift your knees. Send your torso back towards your thighs. Then begin to straighten your knees for downward facing dog. Send your heels down towards the mat as you send your hips up and back. You're only here for about 3 more seconds. And walk your hands back towards your feet. Take your time. Walk your feet out about mat's width apart. Then bend your knees and straighten your knees. Bend your knees and straighten your knees. The next time you bend your knees, leave them bent and slowly roll up to stack your shoulders over your hips, head over your shoulders, shoulders relaxed by your sides, arms relaxed by your sides. Bring your attention to your breath. Notice all of the ways that your breath has changed throughout the practice to support you, to give you what you need at each moment. On your inhale, circle your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, circle your arms down. Inhale to circle up. Exhale, circle down. Let's do that a few more times on your own, letting your breath guide you. On your next inhale, when your arms are up overhead, interlace your fingers. Then bring those interlaced hands behind your head and allow your head to rest back into your hands. Elbows are pointed out to the sides. Bend your knees just a bit. On your next exhale, bend over to the right. And as you inhale, come up through center. And let your exhale send you over to the left. Continue flowing from side to side, riding the wave of your breath. The next time you pass through center, hang out there for just a moment. Straighten your legs. And on your next inhale, arch back, look up. And as you exhale, fold forward with a straight spine. Release your hands down to the mat, bending your knees as much as you'd like to or need to allow your fingertips to rest on the mat. Walk your feet out just a little bit wider and point your toes out. Heels are pointed in. Bend your knees to come into whichever variation of a squat you'd like. So perhaps you'd like to hang out a little bit higher. This will give you an opportunity to experience the strength of your legs. Ooh. Or you can drop your hips lower and experience that sense of opening in your hips. Neither one is better, right, wrong. They're just different. Wherever you land, remember that you can change your mind. So if you came down low, you can come back up high. And if you're up high, you can always come down low. Wherever you are, high or low, bring your hands down to the mat if they're not there already, and then make your way all the way down onto the mat. So take a seat. Scooch towards the middle of your mat if you're not there already. And then lie down with your knees bent. Hug your knees into your chest. Make circles with your knees. So maybe your hands rest on your knees as you make these circles. And then change the direction of your circles. Come back to center. Hug your knees in. Bring the sole of your left foot down to the mat. Then straighten your left leg, still hugging your right knee in towards your chest. Check in with your shoulders. See if they're creeping up or crunching up towards your ears. If they are, invite them to relax, to lower back down to the mat. We have some options here for our next pose. You can either remain here if you don't want to come into a twist for any reason, or if you are currently stimming, just had a trigger shot, just had a retrieval or a transfer, or as I said before, just don't want to come into a twist, stay here. If you'd like to come into a twist, follow me. We're going to bring our right knee and right leg across to the left side of our body. So we're twisting to the left. And our left hand will rest on our right knee, or it might come to the right thigh, as we reach our right arm out at shoulder height to the right. If you're in the twist, come out of your twist. Continue to hug your knee into your chest. And all together, let's place our right foot down on the mat. Bend our left knee to bring the sole of our left foot onto the mat. Draw your left knee in towards your chest. Hug it in with your hands by either placing your hands on your shin or behind your thighs. And then straighten your right leg. If you'd like to come into the twist this time. Bring your left knee over to the right side. Right hand is on the outside of your left knee or left thigh, and your left arm reaches out at shoulder height. Come out of your twist, hug your knee in. From here, we'll all put our foot down on the mat. Straighten your leg. And bring your arms down by your sides, palms up. Bring your attention back to your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest, the rise and fall of your lower abdomen. I offer you a visualization that you are free to explore or not. If you'd like to, in your mind's eye, envision a bright light at the spot between your eyebrows. This bright orb of light can be whatever color comes to mind for you. See it swirling. As it swirls, see it start to condense, become more solid, until eventually it resembles a gem or a precious stone. See that jewel or gem or precious stone reflect light. Shine and sparkle in the light. And even absorb light and send that light into your body. Shift your attention down to the spot at the center of your chest, near your heart. Once again, envision an orb of light spinning, swirling here. Notice its brilliance and its radiance. As it swirls, see it contracting in on itself, becoming more and more solid. Until eventually it resembles a jewel. A beautiful, radiant jewel. See it sparkle. See it scatter the light around your space. Absorb the light in your space and send it into your body. And finally, bring your attention to the spot at your lower abdomen. See light swirling here, playing here. see that light become solid, become a radiant stone, gem or jewel. See light passing through it, being concentrated to be sent into your body. Allow this visualization to fade away and simply rest here in our final resting pose. As we prepare to come to a seated position, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Take in a deep breath and then exhale audibly through your mouth. Roll over onto one side. And then press yourself up. Take your time. And take a seat at the center of your mat. Once you're settled in, inhale to circle your arms up overhead. Palms will touch. And then you'll exhale to bring your hands to the center of your chest. Thank yourself for taking this time today to move, to breathe, and to be still. And I thank you for allowing me to guide you in this practice. Okay, so we are then ready to move on to the journaling portion. I like to think of journaling as self-study, which is an important part of yoga. I think sometimes we might think it's just about poses, and believe me, the poses are important, incredibly important, and they provide an opportunity for introspection and self-study as well. But there are other ways to explore our internal world, and so I think that journaling can be a beautiful way to do that. So I'm going to share the journal prompts visually for the visual learners in the crowd so that you can see them at any time, but I'm also going to read them aloud to you. And we'll probably have between like 5 and 7 minutes per question. And I'll let you know when there's like a minute before we move on to the next question so that you can just focus on your writing and not have to worry about the timing of anything. So, our first question. There it is. I'm going to read it to you. List all of the ways your body has supported and delighted you this week. Again, list all of the ways your body has supported and delighted you this week. We are coming down to our last minute. So begin to wrap up your thoughts. Know that you can always come back to this after our time together. Okay, time for our second question. With all of these things in mind, all of the things that you just listed out, write a thank you note to your body for the ways it has supported and delighted you this week. Take a moment to write a thank you note to your body for the ways it has supported and delighted you this week. We're at the 1 minute mark. So begin to bring these final thoughts to a close. Just for now. You can always come back to this. Now for our final question. Consider the different ways you might show your body gratitude this upcoming week. It's a two-parter. How do you imagine you might feel if you were to do these things? I'll read it one more time. Consider the different ways you might show your body some gratitude this upcoming week. How do you imagine you might feel if you were to do these things? 1 minute to go. 1 minute to go. Okay, so if you have anything that you want to write down, jot down in these final moments, please feel free to do so.